basically you're not compatible. And then the next breath, you outline very clearly why you're so good together.
Exactly.
You understand? You two are not easy to match, let me tell you.
I really love how John had time today. He wasn't putting up with mess. He didn't have time for nonsense from these people, and he was really going to put them in their place. The way he dealt with Ryan and Jackie, because it doesn't make sense for them to criticize the experts and then turn out they have a lot more in common than they don't. And then I love how he dealt with Tim. He really put Tim in his place, because at the end of the day, Tim wanted to make a scene or wanted to feel heard or whatever. I wish he had been on, Married at First Sight USA and dealt with Ikechi, because I think he would have really given him a piece of his mind. And I love this. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's your girl, Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 12, Episode 9. So it's the first commitment ceremony, and I can't wait. This dumpster fire is about to be set off, because obviously there's a lot of issues going on, and it's only week 1, and it's like, seriously, people can't be that bad. You have Ree and Jeff. They are doing amazing. They knew each other before the experiment. They did it for a bit, and then they broke up. So they surprisingly are doing very well. Or not surprisingly, you have Corinna and Paul. They are another couple that knew each other before the experiment. They are in a very good space, and it seems like they're the golden couple. I don't get how the producers continue to sort of focus on them. It makes me sort of side-eye them. You have the problem child, Jackie and Ryan. They are, they're getting ready for the commitment ceremony, and they seem to have sort of reached an understanding, or they're in a peaceful space. They're on a roller coaster. One moment they're up, one moment they're down. Obviously, they're still recovering from the first week and the challenges that they had to sort of participate in the picture arranging, and the describing of your ex. That set them off, because they were playing tit for tat and very childish. I don't get it. You have Sierra and Billy. Sierra is still feeling some type of way about the comments that were made by Ash. Ash relayed comments that Jack had made in regards to ranking the wives, and the sarcastic remarks and the racist remarks, everything he had said. So Sierra is sort of asking Billy to sort of have her back for when they go into the commitment ceremony. He's game. He's going to always stand behind his wife. Ash and, Jack are sort of having this conversation, Jake, and they're having this conversation whereby, she's letting him know that I did tell Sierra what you said, because at the end of the day, it made me feel uncomfortable, and this is why I had to tell someone. He doesn't seem bothered by it, but I think deep down inside he is bothered. I think he is bothered, and sadly, this is not a good look for someone who is a teacher for all intents and purposes. How can you make such racist remarks? I don't get it. You have Awina and Adrian. They're another couple. They're just enjoying, for them it's just a party. When it's finished, then they'll go home. That's the impression that I get. Because there's nothing really serious about them. They both know she's a single mom, but they're not discussing that because it's a hot point for them. They're not doing anything to sort of move themselves forward. I don't know whether it's because he just finds her physically attractive and he's not looking on spending his future with her. Or maybe him saying, I want to first with someone, is him more or less telling her that this is for here and now, and once it's finished, we're over and done with. That's the impression. Well, that's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. That have come out of left field, that have actually taken, I think, a lot of people by surprise. Jamie and Dave. Jamie and Dave have been supporting Kate, because Jamie is very close friends with Kate. They bonded during the Hens Do, and so they've been very close friends. So they are just feeling some type of way about Tim and how he treated Kate, and how the fact that Katie really came into this wanting to get married only to be paired with someone who wasn't serious. Katie, on her part, reveals that her husband hasn't been in touch with her or said anything, so she doesn't even know whether he's coming to the commitment ceremony. But she is attending because she needs help from the experts. As I said, I think she needs therapy. She needs help to sort of help her move on from this relationship and find her person. I think for her, she's got closure the moment she watched the video. She doesn't need him. She's got closure the moment she watched the video, so she doesn't need him around to say anything or do anything. Everybody turns up for the commitment ceremony by Mr. Tim. And then just as John is starting to talk, the boss man himself walks in and it's like, what are we doing here? Why are we here? Why are we here? Who are we trying to seek attention from? What do we hope to achieve with our presence here? Make that make sense? So the commitment ceremony starts, and you know that John has got a lot to say to this man, Tim, and he told him we're going to talk about it when it's your turn. But anyway, let's get it underway. And so they decide to start on a lighter note. They start off with Karina and Paul. Karina and Paul are in a happy space. Obviously, they reveal that they had known one another, and the experts actually acknowledge it and sort of ask questions. And they say, we feel like we've been given a second chance. I really hope they're both in it for the right reasons, and I really hope they're going to actually put in the work and they don't get comfortable just because they've been physically intimate, because they are asked about this. They both seem very happy. They seem very giddy. And so I hope the show doesn't bring them apart, because at times some of these producers will seek drama from couples and that will end up causing a rift. So I hope, if nothing else, they stay together. They are asked, obviously it's a stay. There's no debate about that. They were going to both say stay, so they both choose to stay. Anyone surprised? No. Next up is Rhea and Jeff. Obviously, Rhea and Jeff knew each other before they got into the experiment. Well, they dated. This is why on their wedding day, they were both surprised when they saw who they were marrying. So they seem to be taking things slower than Karina and Paul, because they say they haven't yet been physically intimate. They've only just recently kissed since the last time when they dated, because they had a friendship after they dated in the real world. So I guess they're sort of debating, is this worth us ruining our friendship to try and explore? And I think her letter to him in Confessions Week really helped, because she told him that, you have to sort of take the first step, because I am here, I'm going to be waiting, but I'm not going to do anything to sort of try and move us along unless you are fully in it. So I think he has tried, because apparently he's been flirting with her. He's wanted to cuddle her. He's wanted to hold her hand. They have shared their first kiss. So I love that they're not sort of competing with anyone else, but they're in their own lane. I can actually see them as a couple working in real life, because they have worked at some point. They have been friends. So there is that to sort of lean on, and I hope they continue to do the work. They both choose to stay. Anyone at all surprised? Class? No, because obviously they were going to stay regardless of whether they were getting along or not. This is first week. Unless things are really bad, then they would have left, but otherwise I don't think they will. Next up is Ashley and Jake. So you can see it's Oaks galore. On his part, Jake is worried that someone is going to bring up what he said. And it's like, what do you expect, buddy? You were being recorded. You knew you were being recorded for TV, and you thought, your genius self thought that they wouldn't play it out, or they wouldn't mention that at the commitment ceremony. Take responsibility of the words that come out of your mouth. So they sit there, and then eventually Mel sort of susses out that something is not right. So she asks what's going on, what's happening between the two of you. And you have Ash eventually sort of reveal that he made some comments that she didn't like, and she sort of revealed it to the ladies. And then it eventually comes out that, he said that Sierra looks like someone who could stab you in your sleep. And it's like, seriously, this man, the audacity. I feel like the first words out of his mouth should have been, I'm sorry. I want to sincerely apologize to all the women for the things that I said. For him to say, oh, the words came out of my mouth without my brain sort of processing them, it's like, no. Those are things that you've always thought about them from the moment you saw them, and you were just sort of regurgitating what was in your mind. Don't try and lie like your mouth ran before you. You made a comment that some might view as racist, and you can't say you meant it as a joke. I'm actually surprised that Adrian didn't say anything. He didn't back up his wife. And it's like, why? Why did he not say anything to defend his wife? You had Billy fighting for his wife, and yet Adrian was just sat there when someone made a sort of a racial joke. I didn't like that. You could see that Ryan felt some type of way, even though he and Jackie are not in the best of places when he heard that Jackie has crazy eyes. So the audacity for this man to sit there and now play victim and say, oh, my trust has been betrayed because she told everyone what we discussed in private. But what did you think, Sherlock Holmes? What did you think was going to happen? Did you expect her to just keep quiet and smile and hope for the best? What exactly did you think she was going to do? I wish the experts had asked him to apologize to the women. I know you had Mel sort of tell him that it's unacceptable to say and do whatever he did, but still somebody should have held his feet to the fire and made him apologize to every single woman in the room before we moved on. And so I'm surprised that Ashley said stay, but then part of me thinks she just thought, let me stay and let me see if we can sort of try and sort of mend bridges and leave as friends, because you could tell she felt really bad about regurgitating everything he said. But at the same time, she was backed into a corner. She tried to put lipstick on that pig and it still looked like a pig because, oh, I know he's someone who's not malicious. He is malicious. For him to have those thoughts and to say those things out loud, he is malicious. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you dress it up. So she chooses to stay. He chooses to leave. Why do I think he chose to leave? I think he chose to leave because he knows it's going to be uncomfortable. I think he chose to leave because he knew that everyone was going to hold his feet to the fire. And so for him to say, I feel betrayed and the trust is broken. So you wanted her to keep your secret that you are very misogynistic and you make very inappropriate comments about women. Is that what you wanted from her? And because she didn't do that, now suddenly you want to leave. Buddy, pack your bags and go home. No one is holding you down. Pack your bags and go home. I'm surprised that Ashley didn't give him what he wanted. I would have wanted her to say, okay, fine, if he wants to go home, we'll go home. That's what I expected her to say, but hey, it is what it is. Next up is Jamie and Dave. Jamie and Dave for me are something that I never expected to like, because I kept saying I'm worried that, he's going to be overwhelmed with her sort of in-your-face attitude, the way she's so loud and stuff. But his calm somehow seems to have absorbed her all over the place and sort of brought it into a way whereby he sort of tried to rein it in. And she, in her own way, has sort of brought him out of his shell, whereby he's this bubbly person. He's just talking nonstop. He's just giggly and giddy. And I love that they both said they like that they can be themselves around each other. They can be who they are, and that'll be okay. I think the fact that they're attracted to one another as well is something that helped. So they both choose to stay. Is anyone surprised? No. The fact that Jamie, as she was walking off, said, oh, you both did an amazing job, thank you. And it's like other people are not happy, but she's happy and she's going to make it known. Her husband has already said that, he gets a lot of words of affirmation. He gets a lot of, physical touch, and those are his love languages. So I love this for them. I really do. And I hope they stay on this path. I really do, because I would love for at least one couple to be successful, because the rest, some of them are a train wreck. Next up is Sierra and Billy. Sierra and Billy seem to be doing very well. I've heard rumors about them, but I won't discuss them because I don't know. I'll wait until the episodes air for whenever, because I like to deal in facts. I avoid dealing in gossip. Anyway, they seem to be in a very good space. Obviously, she had a lot of insecurities. She was worried whether her husband would find her attractive on wedding day, and he seems to have found her attractive. I loved the confessions week when he read out his letter about his feelings towards his dad and how she was there for him. I wish she had held his hand when he was talking, but he felt it was comforting for him. He feels like they're both there for the right reasons, which we hope so. That's all you can pray for, that the person you've been matched with is there for the right reason. And Sierra didn't really say much, but she seemed happy and content in a relationship. They both choose to stay. Is anyone surprised? No, because they really haven't had any drama. There hasn't been any red flags that you say, oh, this is off about either one of them. The fact that Billy was very supportive when these comments were made about her, I think is something else that has made her feel like she can stay, because he really seems to care about her as much as she cares about him. And so I can't wait to see what happens next week with the two of them. This is why Mavs needs experts to actually tell these people off, because at times they behave like spoiled little kids. Anyway, next up is Jackie and Ryan. Jackie and Ryan, obviously, they've been having issues in the sense that Jackie wants to be the driver, Ryan wants to be the driver. So they're fighting for control. So you have Ryan have the audacity to pull, what was his name? Casper from Marriage at First Sight UK, and say to the experts, I don't understand why you ignored everything we asked for and you mashed us because we don't align. And then what is it? They asked, what is it that you don't align on? Oh, well, she doesn't like to cook. I like to cook. I told you I wanted someone who could cook. Okay, what else? She complains that he likes it hot, she likes it cold. She complains about his shoes being on the bed. And then he talks about the fact that he gave her the second bedroom to put her stuff in. But at the end of the day, she still is unhappy that he's reduced his TV time. Everybody was laughing. Everybody was just rolling their eyes because it was like, seriously, we thought it was something major that was going on in this marriage that, you two were clashing on, but it doesn't make sense. They then start talking about the things they get along on. So we really love talking, having intellectual talks about, the what's happening in the world, what's happening with, Bitcoin and stuff. And it's like, so you wanted these experts to find you somebody that's 100% aligned with you. Make that make sense. I love that John actually told them the truth and said, you two are very difficult to match. You're lucky that you're matched with someone because you're very difficult to match because your ones are too long. And this is why we ended up matching you. I feel like hearing them talk, it came across as though Ryan and Jackie are each other's version. So Ryan is the male version of Jackie and Jackie is the female version of Ryan. That's it. And you could tell they could sense that they were coming across as stupid because everything they were saying was being debunked. So in the end, they had no leg to stand on. Whether they had hyped each other and said, we're going to tell the experts off because we're not aligned, I don't know. And surprise, surprise, they both chose to stay. Everybody was rolling their eyes because how can you say you're not properly matched and then you want to stay with the person you're not properly matched with? You're saying you're being intimate. Why are you being intimate with someone who you're not aligned with? Make that make sense? It was just a comedy show and everybody was just rolling their eyes and looking at them like these two idiots. Next up is Tony and Morena. Tony and Morena, there's a rumor I heard about them as well, but I don't have the facts, so I'm going to leave it out there. Anyway, they are next on the couch and Tony starts to talk. And so I had to rewind it. He didn't say Morena, but he didn't say Mariana. He said something in between the two of them. I think he got sidetracked and he started talking, whether that's the name of his ex-wife or his ex-partner, and she was pissed off by it. She had to correct him that it's Morena. And it's like, it's not that deep. Here's what I think. Because Tony's asked a question and then Morena overtalks him. He's complained about this before. And she talks about the fact that she's never had love before. She's never been in love and she's going to definitely find it. And it's like, this is the problem. She should have gone to therapy before coming onto the show. Because she is trying to sort of rewrite history. She's trying to get every single thing that she didn't get in her younger years or in her former relationships. And in doing that, she's not paying attention. She's not living in the now. Tony comes across as a very happy-go-lucky type of guy. And if she were to be in it with him and really enjoy what take it day by day and enjoy whatever presents on the day, they would be amazing. But because she keeps bringing up her history, he tried to talk about the lovely things his ex used to do for him for Valentine's. She had to bring in her 2 pence that she'd never had that. And he was very lucky to have had that. I think she's complaining that he's not talking. He is complaining that she's not listening. And so something is not right between the two of them. Something is not right. So she tends to overcompensate by talking and by wanting to sort of have her voice be heard, I think, because she always felt her voice was stifled in her former marriage. And sadly, in doing that, she's silencing her husband. And him, in being silenced, he's being turned off, let alone the words that came out of his cousin's mouth. So I don't see them working. I really don't. I know they both decided to stay, but sadly, as an older couple, you'd have expected them to be there for the right reasons and for them to have learned from their mistakes, but sadly, it doesn't seem they have. Next up is Adrian and Athena. I've been calling her Athena. I'm sorry. So they, dive deep. Obviously, she speaks about the fact that they really like what they see. They really like the person that they were matched with. And their only problem is the fact that she has a child and Adrian didn't want a child. And so Adrian then goes into this speech of, she has this quality, and I could sit and focus on the fact that she's got a child, or I could just get to know her and then hopefully fall in love with her and her child and stuff. And it's like, so have the producers been milking it, or has Adrian gone home and spoken to his twin and his twin has told him what to say? Or maybe his twin has turned up for him and sort of, given the speech for him. Which is it? I don't quite get it. And I'm a bit confused as to what's happened. What's changed from their fight about him saying he didn't want to, or he wasn't sure if he would be a great dad to her child, to suddenly he's saying he's open to the idea and he knows that in dating her, he's also has the possibility of having to sort of care for her child. Which is it? I'm confused. I really am confused. And I hope the producers were just not milking it for the sake of milking it. Do I think they could work? I think so, if he's genuine in what he said about her child, if he's genuine in the fact that he's open to sort of getting to know her child and seeing if they can develop a bond, a father and son bond, that would be amazing. But I am skeptical. I'm side-eyeing him, and I can't wait to see what happens. They both choose to say yes. Anyone surprised? No. They both, they're asked, have you been physically intimate? They both say yes. Well, Athena asks, Adrian to speak up, and he speaks up and says, yes, they have. And so I have hope for them, but I don't know. Something about Adrian for me is a bit off, and I don't know what it is exactly, especially given the fact that the producers were asking him about his confessional or sort of about his responses during the sort of casting process. So lastly on the couch is Tim and Katie. And I'm here for John. Thank God John is the one who dealt with them, because at the end of the day, he made sure that Katie said her piece and said everything that needed to be said and didn't allow this man to railroad her. I think he was already feeling some type of way about Tim because of the way Tim was gaslighting towards Katie at the last dinner party. And he actually told him that I saw gaslighting 101, the way you spoke to her and the way you made her blame herself for everything. And the audacity of this man to say, I feel like all the blaming is being put on me and nothing is being put on Katie. And it's like, what do you want her to be blamed for exactly? The fact that you didn't find her attractive, the fact that there was no initial spark. What exactly in particular did you want her blamed for? I wish she had spoken about the fact that I watched his casting tape and he said he didn't care about the spark and he didn't care about the physical features, and yet that's all he stopped at. For him to say, oh, she was answering emails and she was, what did you expect her to do? I agree with Sierra, because you've just broken her. So what, you wanted her to sit there and then listen to you ramble on about yourself after you've broken her? She was looking for her power. She was looking for a way to ground herself, because at the end of the day, you have made her feel like crap. So she needs to do something that gives her power, something that makes her feel like she is that girl. And so the audacity, I loved when John said to him, why are you here? There's a reason you came in tonight. Why are you here? I had hope. Hope for what? You did not contact her when you went back. And so the audacity to suddenly expect to have hope. Hope for what? What in particular did you have hope for? And I love when he complained, oh, when we went, after we were on the honeymoon, she didn't contact me. And he was asked, did you contact her? He needed to be asked that. And he was asked all the right questions. And he left there feeling worse for wear than he did when he walked in. I think he felt like he was going to be treated as the victim. I think he expected the experts to sort of listen to everything that he said and sort of back him and be there to support him and make him look like the victim in this situation. And so to realize that the experts actually saw through his crap and they were not buying it was something he didn't expect. I love that everyone was very supportive towards Katie and really cheered for her. Even after the decisions were made and everybody left, you had people stay behind and sort of cheer her on and sort of motivate her and encourage her. And Jeff was there. Ree was telling her that, you don't need to worry about anybody else. You came here for the right reasons and you did your best and it didn't work out. That's amazing. And then for Jeff to say there are a lot of guys that are going to watch this and your person is going to be watching this and is going to reach out to you. And I really hope that her guy reaches out to her, because she comes across as an amazing woman. Poor idiot didn't know what he had, but hey, it is what it is. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 8. Bye guys.